Society tells us that by staying in school, we'll be much more successful in life than those who don't. Well, the people on here did everything wrong by dropping out of high school and yet still became filthy rich. Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino was only 15 when he dropped out of Narbonne High School and then started ushering at a movie theater while taking acting classes. In his early 20s, he started working at the video archives and started writing some of his most notable movies, such as Natural Born Killers and True Romance. Then, in 1992, he got his big break and directorial debut in directing Reservoir Dogs, which made him an overnight success. Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin dropped out of high school at the age of 15 so that she could care for her first child. But when she was 14, she was already recording tracks and touring with her father's gospel group and slowly started making a name for herself. Today, she's one of the biggest divas and recording artists in history, with 18 Grammys, and she became the first female artist to be included in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. George Foreman. George Foreman dropped out of high school when he was in 9th grade and started running with street gangs until 1965 when he joined Job Corps. There, he learned the art of boxing and became one of the most well-known and successful athletes in the sport. Foreman eventually landed a fortune after becoming the spokesperson for a fat-reducing grilling machine from Russell Hobbs Incorporated, known as the George Foreman Grill. Vidal Sassoon. Vidal Sassoon spent his early days in a Jewish orphanage until he was reunited with his mother at the age of 11. Then, he dropped out of high school at the age of 14 in London to become an apprentice for hairdressing, which ended up being a wise career choice. Vidal Sassoon invented the bob look in the 1960s and became one of the most sought-after hairstylists of the era, and was even paid $5,000 and flown to the United States to cut and style Mia Farrow's hair for the movie Rosemary's Baby. Sassoon sadly passed away in 2012. Richard Branson. You may know Richard Branson as the billionaire tycoon who owns the Virgin brand. At the age of 16, Branson dropped out of school and still managed to be the king of one of the biggest empires on Earth. He has also spoken out against the university system and seems to be flying high, literally, into space over everyone's diplomas and degrees. Mike Hudak. Mike Hudak dropped out of school at the age of 15 and started working for a small internet security firm before eventually working as a consultant for Time Warner in New York City. Then, in 2005, he created the website blip.tv, which allows people to post their streaming digital content, and Mike became an overnight success. He eventually stepped down as CEO from Blip in 2012 and became a product manager for Facebook. David Karp. David Karp was only 15 years old when he dropped out of high school at the prestigious Bronx High School of Science. While living in his mother's apartment in Manhattan, he developed the weblog and social media site Tumblr and became a major success. Francois Pino. Francois Pino had a hard time in school and his classmates made fun of him because he had a poor background. So in 1947, Francois dropped out of high school to help his father with his lumber mill. But today, the billionaire owns several of the biggest fashion houses in the industry like Gucci and Yves Saint Laurent, as well as Christie's auction house. He's now one of the richest men in France and worth about $14 billion. Joe Louis. Joe Louis works from his yacht most of the year and owns one of the fastest growing communities in the world, a medical city near Orlando. He also owns over 150 companies as well as enough art to be valued at $1 billion. He would never know that Joe dropped out of high school at 15 so that he could run his father's catering business. Kirk Korian. You might not be familiar with the name right away, but if you have ever been to Las Vegas, then you have seen the results of Kirk Korian's hard work. He dropped out of school in the 8th grade and then became a fighter pilot in World War II, and then used the money from that to make a major purchase of land in Las Vegas and helped develop the Strip into what we know today. He held major stakes in some of the largest casinos in town and became a successful billionaire before passing away in June of 2015. Thanks for watching! Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any more.